Hey, what's up, everyone? As you can tell from the title of this video, I am going to share my opinion on the best handgun that a woman can get. And you might wonder, what makes me so qualified to make that decision for someone I never met? And I will tell you. What makes me qualified. I do a lot of shopping for guns, and I go to a lot of gun shops. And I've heard lots and lots of very, 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 very bright guys go with their wives and girlfriends and maybe sisters and stuff, and they know what to get. They know what's just right for their small-handed female friend, relative, or significant other. Something like this. Now, that's a Kel-Tec P32, but it's the same exact size as a Kel-Tec P3AT, which is a 380. And as you can tell, this is actually a pretty small handgun, which is, it's about 5 inches by, let's say 5 inches by about 3.5 inches, and maybe about 1/4 of an inch thick. Well, not 1/4 of an inch, but less than about a half inch thick. So it's a teeny tiny gun for a teeny tiny person with teeny tiny hands. What could go wrong, right? I don't know. I mean, maybe the fact that if she's very lucky, she might be able to get 2 full fingers on it. And that while the 380 is not a super powerful round, out of a 6 to 8 ounce plastic gun, it's kind of, uncomfortable to shoot and feels like it's going to flip out of your hand. But people think that. I've been in gun shops, and I've heard these guys say, "Hey, what about the Ruger LCP or the Kel-Tec P3AT?" And they do say it in kind of a voice like that. I'm not even joking. Or the Smith & Wesson Bodyguard or something like that. And nothing against those guns at all. I just think they're pretty lousy for someone who's new to shooting. You want to kind of turn someone off the idea of shooting? Give them a teeny tiny little 380. I think a little tiny 380 is awesome because of their size and basically the effectiveness of a 380. I know it's not popular, but I mean it's a compromise cartridge. So I mean not as powerful as 9mm, obviously, but for what it does and in the little tiny package, it's a really excellent idea, and I can understand why people like them. I personally wish I did like them, but I don't. I mean, you look at my hand compared to that. Let me just kind of. I mean, it's a teeny tiny gun, Now this one isn't. This is actually the P32. It's in 32, so it's actually pretty pleasant to shoot. And yeah, I know the 32 is even less powerful than the 380. I know that, but I don't feel like this is going to jump out of my hands and run away when I'm shooting. And as you can tell, I mean, there's no magazine here. It's been cleared, by the way. I mean, I don't even get 2 full fingers on. I barely get 1.5 fingers. So, as a 6'3", 315-pound dude, I don't like the snappiness in this gun. So, I mean, a lot of women aren't going to like it either. And it just bugs me when I see people trying to say, "Well, you've got small hands. You should have a small gun." Well, I can't go by that because right here I have something for you that might interest you. That's my wife's gun. Now, she doesn't actually carry it, but when we do go to the range and she does shoot, that's what she wants to shoot. That is a Beretta PX4 Storm in 45 ACP. Yeah, it's a cool gun. Now, I know some of you might say, well, it's polymer, so it's kind of light, and it's got the rotating barrel. Yeah, but it's a full-size gun. It's a duty-size gun, and it's in 45. She loves it. She said she likes the sights, so she likes the grip angle on it, and everything about it, and she shoots pretty darn well with it. I told her she should get her carry permit because you have to go through a shooting qualification where I live. She doesn't have any interest in it, but she could qualify with that. I have no doubt. For her, it's the perfect gun. And just like all these other women go with their, with their boyfriends or husbands or brothers, and they're telling them, "Oh, you know, get one of these small guns for you." No, you know, I actually think that a lot of people who are like first time shooters or have um, very limited experience, I think it'd actually be better off maybe with something like, you know, not necessarily this, but something like maybe like a Glock 19 size, where you have enough to get your whole hand on the grip. Because I think that's important, especially for someone who's just starting to pick it up. But it's a little bit smaller grip wise and barrel wise as the 17, just like the PX4 Storms. The PX4 Storms have, you know, there's the compact and there's a subcompact. So like the compact might be like an inch shorter in the barrel, maybe like a half an inch in the grip. So it's a little bit lighter, but it's still got some decent weight there. But I mean, even those two suggestions are kind of like blanket statements. I think the worst thing you can do is just kind of go to the store and say, "Yeah, this is kind of your what you should get. You should get this." No, that sucks. I mean, I think the best way is just to kind of experiment. Like, I'm pretty lucky. There's actually an instructor who lives in my state who has ladies' nights, and I always tell like coworkers and family who voice interest in shooting. I said, if you give her a call, and I give her, you know, her name and website. I said, get in touch with her because she has these ladies' nights where she'll bring like 10 or 15 or 20 guns. I don't know how many she brings. She brings a lot of different guns, different rifles. She brings different types of handguns, different ammunition, and she lets them try it all out. And they have RSOs and instructors there, helping them along with safety, and they have a class type thing before that, and they can try out different handguns. So something like that, you can actually say, okay, I do like this size gun. That one maybe is too big. That one's too small. This one's just right. I kind of like this sort of thing. And then at least if you go another time, you can say, well, I liked this particular style of gun. So you know that if, like, say, the Glock 19 appealed to her, maybe one day she goes to the range, rents a Glock 19. Maybe she looks kind of like for a mid-sized type gun. Maybe she tries a revolver. She might like a revolver. We don't know. But when I see guys just kind of trying to push the Ruger LCPs and all that, do you know why I have this Kel-Tec P32 here? It's because I have a Ruger LCP that I sold. I have a Beretta Pico, which I sold, and I have a Taurus TCP, which I sold. I also considered buying a Kel-Tec P38T that was used. I couldn't bring myself to do it. Excuse me. And again, I really love the idea of tiny guns. I mean, if you look through some of the videos I've done, I've actually done quite a few videos on smaller handguns. I have a whole video on like Beretta mouse guns. I love little tiny mouse guns. I have them in 22 short. I have them in 22, 25, 32, all the muscle calibers. But just the 380, it's just not my thing. I love my Bond Arms Derringer. I have that in 45 ACP. That's about my limit with that gun. I'd never want to shoot 357 in it. No way in hell. The 45 is enough for me. And even with the 45, you got to grip it just the right way to really effectively shoot it. Whereas, I mean, you can't have any slop in your grip. Whereas, you can cheat a little bit if you're using like 22 in it or something, 22 mag, even 9mm, but not with the 45. Plus, it's kind of small, even with the extended grips. So, I just bugs me when I see the whole short gun, little hand thing. Matter of fact, I was really glad to see the last time I saw this happen. So at the gun shop, and this guy was suggesting like a Ruger LCP for the woman he was with. And when he said that, I just kind of looked up like, ugh. And the store owner, who's also a pretty big guy, just kind of looked at him with this kind of like look like, are you crazy? And he said, well, a lot of people find that they're really snappy guns and they might not be too enjoyable to shoot. Fantastic for personal defense. But if you're kind of just starting out and you're looking for something to really get a lot of rounds down range in practice and whatnot, might not. And the other thing, too, is just have something that you use for home defense. That's probably not the best thing. You know, the guns like the LCP, they are fantastic for concealed carry. But why have that for home defense if you could have something that's a little bigger that you can shoot a bit more effectively? And you know, you look at some of the sights on these little guns, and they're very, very rudimentary to the point of not existing. Whereas with a full size gun, they usually come with decent sights, or you can put better sights. They're not milled in like some of the smaller ones. And when he said that, the guy who made the suggestion for the LCP looked like he was kind of like befuddled by the whole thing. Like he didn't realize, oh, those guns are snappy. I don't think he's ever shot one. But he was saying, hey, why don't you check that out? Like it's this teeny tiny little thing. Now, if it was the 22LR light rack, I can understand that because I could see how that would be a little more manageable. But then you have the whole argument of, is 22LR a good self-defense caliber? I personally think it would do the job. I think I'm probably in the minority on that. I mean, you probably want to get at least to 380, although I can live with 32. Shot placement, shot placement, shot placement. It's kind of like real estate with the location, location, location. But anyway, I digress. So just kind of keep your eye out for this kind of thing when you're at the range, and just kind of check out some of the foolishness you hear with people suggesting guns just kind of based on the most superficial characteristic there is. I mean, especially for people who aren't going to conceal carry. I mean, if somebody's going to conceal carry, you might not want a Glock 40. You know, kind of tough to conceal. I can understand that, but when people are starting out, they're probably not thinking about concealed carry. At least where I live, because I mean, if you live in a state that has constitutional carry, you know, you could technically buy the gun and, you know, put it on a holster on your belt and walk out with it, I'm assuming, in a lot of these states. Where I live, it's not the case. It's a whole big process just to get your concealed carry license. It's really a pain in the neck. So, you know, when people are first buying guns, they're not buying them, you know, right away for concealed carry, because like I said, it's something where if you get a gun today and you can actually shoot for your qualification and pass the qualification, you're looking at several months from the point where you actually start the application process to getting it. And that's if you're lucky. Some people I've heard waiting well over a year to hear back. It's kind of bad. So the whole concealed carry thing, probably not the best idea. Probably better to buy that after you've already gotten comfortable with something like you'd use for home defense than go to the smaller gun. Another reason I thought about this is I was at another gun shop, and a woman walked in looking for a 308 rifle. And the guy was like almost right away trying to, like, he was shocked she wanted a 308 rifle, was trying to talk her out of it. Like, and I'm like, what the hell? She wants a 308 rifle. Like, she seemed like she knew what she wanted. I mean, I didn't hear the whole conversation, but she specifically wanted something in 308. And I'm thinking that he was kind of ignoring her, because it's the best way I could put it, is because, like, she went in there and she kind of had her hair fixed and her makeup, which isn't, you know, it's not right to judge her in that. But I don't know. I think he felt like she didn't know, like maybe he was passing a judgment on her. But I mean, if I walked in there and she says, I want a 308 rifle, I'm like, okay, anything else you're looking for, like a particular manufacturer or brand or anything like that? You know, what types of things you want to use it for, so I can help her find the 308 she wants. This jackass was kind of like saying, you really want a 308? You sure you want a 308? She asked you for a freaking 308. Get her a 308. Sorry for the rant, but that just kind of annoys me. But it was good talking to you guys again. I will see you later. If you liked the video, please like it so I know what kind of videos you guys like to see and don't like to see. And if you are not subscribed and you've made it this long, subscribe. I mean, come on, you just listened to me ramble on for almost 15 minutes. Least you can do is subscribe. Come on, you know you kind of like the videos. Talk to you later.